What it do, snackers and snackettes? This is Snackin Hangin, the Loaded Snacks podcast, episode 28, gentlemen. So close to 30.
28.
Yeah, so close to 30. It is your boy Gage, and I have the usual suspects plus one with me. Something like that. Sin, speak to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Let's get it popping.
And new Joker.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody?
I'm here, everyone. How are you? And long time no see, Super Cooper.
Soup Coop in the building. I lost the building and now I found it, so I'm here now.
You still alive?
Okay. Yeah. You here somewhere? Good to have you back, sir. Hopefully,
feels good to be back.
You will be back with us regularly, and this full family of suspects will be whole once more. So today, gentle guys, we are going to discuss the DC Extended Universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe lineups. Coming off of the heels of San Diego Comic-Con, which we discussed last week and picked like our top, 5 things from Comic-Con. It just kind of, I'm looking at the timelines, okay, gentlemen, for DC and Marvel and their movies that are coming. And I just want to have a little bit of discussion because there's a lot going on here. I'm sure you all would agree.
Definitely.
I think we'll have an opportunity to speculate a little bit. We'll talk about some stuff. So what I'd like to do is we will start off by discussing the DC Extended Universe and what's going on there. Then we'll probably take a short break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about the Marvel Extended Universe. Does that sound like a good plan, gentlemen?
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Yep.
Okay, so then let's start here. Gentlemen, I am going to read off to you the, proposed lineup.
Right.
For the DC Extended Universe.
Everything,
okay?
Of course, is subject to change, right?
Right, which is why I'm saying proposed.
Right.
But as of right now, okay, we have Suicide Squad, which actually hits this week. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wonder Woman next year, so June 23rd, 2017.
Ooh,
okay?
Birthday movie, sweet.
Followed by Justice League, November 17th. Ooh, birthday movie. Sweet. Followed by The Flash, March 23rd, 2018.
Okay.
Followed by Aquaman, July 27th, 2018. Notice there is not a lot of time between those two movies. March and July, okay?
Right.
No, neither is between Wonder Woman and Justice League either, yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right, but I mean, you're still talking like 5 months or so.
That's a good couple of months in between
versus
those.
like 2 or 3 months. Then Shazam, April 5th, 2019. Followed by Justice League 2, June 14th, 2019.
Yeah, birthday movies. Let's go.
Right? Right? Followed by Cyborg, April 3rd, 2020.
Oh, this the good one right here.
So almost a full year, and then Green Lantern, June 19th,
on my birthday,
full birthday, right?
on my birthday,
2020. So now,
somebody's thinking about you.
Apparently, the person in the DC universe is looking out for me.
It's June. It just makes sense. Right?
Yeah. Summer blockbusters. It is what it is.
Okay, so here's what I kind of wanna look at. First of all, why are we waiting so long for a Green Lantern film?
That is a very
because the last
good
one
question.
sucked ass.
But
And
that
still
would make
left-
the reboot
Yeah.
want to
And it left a
happen
bad
sooner
taste
to
in
get
people's
it done and
mouth.
over with.
And it left a bad taste in people's mouth, so they're going to take their time, get it right, and focus on other people who haven't had movies yet.
Okay. While I hear what you're saying, that's not working for me specifically because he is a prime member of the Justice League.
Now, I thought
Right?
I thought his movie would come out before Justice League 2.
He's
That's
not
true.
getting a movie
Maybe they don't.
I
before
know.
Shazam. Shazam is getting a movie before him.
Yeah, that's how bad the last Green Lantern movie was.
So right. So like, okay, so
And it's Green Lantern Corps, right? That's the one, right? It's going to be about the Corps, not necessarily.
we
we don't know.
supposedly
Right, that's what it's called. That's what it's called.
it's
Okay.
it might be the Green. I mean, that's what they're saying is that it's
Right.
the Green Lantern Corps, which I get. What that says to me is that we are likely to see Green Lantern show up prior to or in Justice League 2.
That's what I'm
I can see
hoping.
that.
Agreed.
I can see that.
Right? Because, I mean, think about it. We're getting, unlike what happens with Marvel, and we've discussed this before, but Marvel basically did a bunch of individual movies first and then did one where they brought everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I mean, everybody already knows Batman and Superman, but those were done. We'll get Wonder Woman first, and then we get Justice League, which is going to introduce the Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg.
Right?
Now, of course, we don't get Cyborg's movie until after the second Justice League movie.
But at least he was in Batman versus Superman, at the least of anything. You know, we still gotta
What?
wait 3 years to possibly.
That
I mean,
was just a little. I don't
we
even know
saw
if I want
him.
to call that a snippet.
You mean compared to what Green Lantern is?
exactly right.
Okay.
So I mean,
Right.
we saw him in any sense.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. One, that might be a little racist. Two, but I kind of mean that. Like, I don't mean that, but I kind of mean that. And I'm saying that because I do think that there is some concern on DC's end about which Green Lantern to go with.
I can see
yeah.
that.
I do-
There's
I
plenty
do-
to choose from. Yeah.
If I see another picture of Tyrese in a Green Lantern uniform, I'm gonna lose it.
And-
'Cause-
Why? You already know what's gonna happen.
no,
what's
it
gonna
doesn't
At
need
this
to happen.
point now, I really
Roman
hope they
Pierce?
do go ahead and go with John Stewart. Because I mean, just with the way Ryan Reynolds' movie was set up, I don't think Hal Jordan's going to get that second opportunity. At least
Yeah,
right
don't do
now.
that.
Why not?
It deserves a reboot, I will say that, but they may just say, you know what, let's just go ahead and go on to John Stewart.
I mean, I can't. Listen. While I like the fact that you are trying to come up with a good reason for Green Lantern to be black, that's
Nah,
really
not
all
even
I
that.
hear right here. I'm just saying, like, I don't look right now. The DC universe has two Supermans who are playing the exact same character, one on TV and one in the movies. They're two. You know what I mean? Like, you have two different Flashes, right? So having that Hal Jordan really doesn't have any effect on what they decide to do with this, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. Why would that technically matter? Is, I guess, what I'm getting at, right? If they've already basically made it established that, like, yep, there's Barry Allen and there's Barry Allen, and there's, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. I mean, with easily their most important superhero, who is Superman, they have two different people playing the same dude, one on
Yeah.
TV and one in the movies.
But I guess it's kind of like even yesterday we saw that article of POC, people of color in movies, so maybe it's going to run off of something like that, or just
Yeah, but that
You
doesn't
need-
have anything to do with this.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you need people agree that you need more people of color in the movies, so they just might do Jon Stewart because that's a thing now.
I mean, well, here's what I'll say. One, first and foremost, on the people of color thing, that's a whole different issue because we're talking about a historical movie, sort of, right? We're talking about the building of the Great Wall of China, and then putting Matt Damon, who was a white man, as the person who saves all the Chinese people. Like, that's very different from having, superheroes in a movie, right? Now, should there be people of color? Yep. Do we have heroes of color? Yep. And certainly we'll get into that. But I don't know if that is a good enough reason to say, well, we got to put it this way. Putting a person of color into a movie whether it's a superhero movie, whether the character actually exists within the universe or not, it's not something, in my opinion, that should happen because it's the thing to do, which is what you just said. And it shouldn't be that there's this, like, overarching pressure. You know what I mean? Like, to me, those kinds of things should just kind of happen naturally. You know what I mean? So, like, when it happened in the Justice League cartoon, like, I was like, why is Green Lantern black? You know what I mean? Because I'm just being real. Like, and I had to go and look John Stewart up to find out, like, oh, John Stewart's been around since, like, the 60s, 70s. Like, he's been around for a very long time. This is not new. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't understand why they chose to go with him versus going with Hal Jordan, but they did. It's just what happened. Now, don't get me wrong, Dwayne McDuffie, who was at the helm of most of those shows, there's a black man who was writing a lot of that stuff, so maybe that's why it happened. But it just happened. And nobody tripped, really. Like, there was nobody who was upset. I don't think it will technically matter what direction they go in with Green Lantern. I don't really think it matters whether you do Hal Jordan or you do John Stewart.
It just needs
with
to be
the
good.
exception of right. It just needs to be a good movie.
Yeah.
But with the exception of how his role, how which one of them they choose affects their ability to further the story. Right? Because with Hal Jordan, the way he became Green Lantern is very different from the way that John Stewart became Green Lantern. I mean, John Stewart only became a Green Lantern because of Hal Jordan, technically. So, if they do a Green Lantern movie and it's Green Lantern core, then maybe just being able to say, oh, there are Green Lanterns everywhere, and they're all types of different races, aliens, males, females, whatever, opens the door for them to be able to use whoever they want and make them a member of the Justice League. You see what I'm saying? So maybe that Green Lantern Corps movie, Hal Jordan, ends up going off to be in the universe doing whatever he's doing out there somewhere, and John Stewart, who was chosen to basically be the substitute Green Lantern when Hal Jordan wasn't available to do so, maybe that's why he ends up being the person that's on the Justice League. And it could happen. It could certainly happen that way. I just don't know why we have to wait so long for it to happen. It doesn't matter which one it is, but maybe that's what it is. It's like, how do we do this? You know what I'm saying?
No, maybe they're doing to set up Justice League 2 or something. Like I said, how he might make an appearance in it. I mean, obviously they look like they're going with the dark side role for, the first one, or at least it looks like it. Then at least with the next one, since he deals with intergalactic stuff, maybe his threat could be coming to Earth and he has to Justice League for help or something like that. Maybe that's why they're holding him off for later down the line. I don't know.
Right.
Just speculating.
Right. I mean, that's highly possible, I would say. With again, I'm pretty sure, yeah, because we saw the mother box in the trailer for Justice League, so I'm pretty sure Darkseid is the threat that's coming.
Right.
And it is kind of how they did the whole Justice League War, the New 52, which appears to be the direction they're going, although the Flash's, like, outfit, his suit appears to be, like, directly out of Injustice.
Hey.
Which is really interesting for that. But I still, like, Shazam, though. I mean, I don't hate Shazam. But Shazam gets a standalone film.
Yeah.
One, he gets a standalone film before Cyborg. Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Straight up. Blasphemy. And he gets a joint before Green Lantern. So,
yeah.
And I understand that now he is technically, as far as the New 52 is concerned, he is one of the core members of the team, right? And I can appreciate that they're doing Aquaman before that. Where in the animated features, they left Aquaman out of that original lineup and didn't do his movie until later. So I'm wondering whether or not we're going to see. We might see Superman in the Shazam film, kind of like that.
Possibly.
That animated short.
The animated one, yeah. That'd be cool.
I would love to see him come to the DC extended universe, But well, I guess it all depends on how loud people are about wanting to have him involved in it. Because right now, as of right now, they said it's a standalone film. It's not going to tie into the rest of them. I hope that changes because yes, I want to see him be a part of the DC extended universe. But I guess popularity and people speaking out and how well the DC universe is doing. I guess only time will tell if they change their mind on that or not. Because it's still a long time before it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking. I
3
mean,
years.
2019, yeah.
yeah, I mean, before we see Shazam, but then we get Justice League 2 right after that. So the question is, how are those tied in? Because again, we don't get a Cyborg film until 2020, and then Green Lantern in 2020. Now, obviously, again, these are subject to change. I mean, there are some gaps in this timeline that I think are a little odd. Um, all things considered, but who knows? I mean, my question would be, what do you think they'll do with a Flash movie? Having a Flash movie come right after Justice League, what do you think they do with that movie? I mean, in my opinion, the Flash TV show is already way too muddy with way too many speedsters with it's way too much going on in that show.
I
People
agree.
love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, come on, man, Jerry Garrick, Barry Allen, like they just throwing everything they got at it. So then the question becomes, what's left? What do you do with a Flash movie where you can't really? I mean, you could do Flashpoint if you leave everybody else out. But one of the things that was so great about Flashpoint in the comics was how it affected the overall DC universe. And that universe won't really exist yet because you have all these other characters who either haven't been introduced or don't have standalone movies yet.
Well,
Um,
maybe with it playing right after Justice League, they can throw some of the characters in there. Maybe they'll do something like the Superman and Flash, race, or with Batman vs Superman came out, he came through the portal. Maybe it'll show something like how he made it there, or something like with it being coming after the Justice League and all these other movies, you can throw other characters in there and then create some type of storyline, I guess.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, clearly there is something that has to do with the way that ties in with him having shown up in Batman vs Superman. I think the other thing that's really important about this lineup, as far out as it goes, there is no Superman movie and there is no Batman movie listed
Nope.
in any of
Very
this.
true. Very true.
And that is real interesting. I mean, again, if you look at the way that the Marvel Cinematic Universe lined up, Iron Man got an Iron Man 2 and an Iron Man 3 as these phases, you know what I mean, kind of continued. And same thing with Thor, you know what I mean? Like you saw sequels actually come about. So could some of these timelines shift? Could they move some stuff around? Absolutely. Could they introduce
Yeah.
some other characters?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's interesting that there's no Green Arrow. Not that Green Arrow is technically one of the main members of the Justice League, but just that he's a character that people do really know right now. You know what I'm saying? Based on how well the Arrow show is doing and has done.
Agreed.
Yeah, I will
And
also say
maybe
that. Go
and
ahead.
maybe he'll be a feature for Justice League. Because I mean, as much as I would love to see a standalone Arrow movie, I feel like they would just have him kind of show up in one of the Justice League movies. Do a little something on screen, and then kind of we don't see him again.
That's all I
I
want.
almost feel like
All I
that's
want is an
kind of
Easter
something what
egg
they would
with him and
do.
Bruce
I
Wayne.
hate to say
That's it.
that.
That's all I want. Just give me the Easter egg just to acknowledge him with Oliver Queen and Bruce Wayne, and just leave it at that. I don't need to add him in there.
Yeah, they won't. They're not gonna. They're not going to pull what's the name right off the TV
Stephen
show. And
Amell,
put him
yeah,
and
no.
put it there. He's not gonna be in the movies at all. Like that's just not gonna happen. I mean,
Man,
they
and if
could
they put
listen.
if they
They
do that and don't somehow bring Grant Gustin as some kind of thing, I would be mad if they bought one but not the other.
I mean, the truth is they could do whatever they want because all they have to do is say that again, the DC movie, the DC extended universe, is a different timeline from
Mm-hmm.
the ones that they exist in, which is how they explain the whole thing with Supergirl and all that kind of stuff. So really, they can do what they want. I mean, they're already running that just in the Flash by itself. So I mean, clearly they could retcon it or do whatever if they decided they wanted to bring him over into it. But you're right, Lo. They could just drop a name. I mean, think about it. A lot of the stuff that we got in the MCU was done that way. You'd be watching a movie and you would just see somebody's name show up on a screen somewhere randomly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. You know, you watching an X-Men movie, even with the Fox stuff, you watching an X-Men movie and you see them show like Hank McCoy on TV discussing the mutant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he don't need to be fully in it, fighting alongside him. Just throw a nod his way or something like that. Like, even if he's walking down the street and they bump shoulders and like, oh, excuse me, and he just keeps walking or something like that. Just to appease the fans. It would be cool.
I'm sure that they will mention like Star City or something like that. You know what I mean? But I also think that there's a lot of opportunity with what they're doing. Just again with the Justice League. There's a lot of opportunity for them to reach outside of that realm. So my question is, what do you think we might see in terms of kind of like a surprise? I mean, a lot of people are saying that, Suicide Squad is kind of like DC's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's kind of coming out of nowhere. Nobody really expects it. People aren't really familiar. There are characters that people know, but not really. I mean, mostly just the Joker, for real, for most people. So, could we see a Titans, a Teen Titans, a Nightwing movie or something like that maybe? When you consider the way that this timeline is set up, for as old as Bruce Wayne is, which, again, is still an issue for me, and clearly the Joker killed Robin at some point, right?
Yep.
So do we get a Red Hood? Do we get a Red Robin? Do we get Damian Wayne? Do we get a Nightwing? You know what I mean? Like,
it's a full-blown Young Justice movie. Just
I mean, a Young Justice movie might be.
Nah, we just
maybe
need,
a
we just need,
Titans.
we just need a Young Justice season 3 right now.
I'd be happy if we just get season 3.
That's what we just need right now.
Yeah, I'd be good with that. But what do you guys think? I mean, do you think we might see something else like that pop up? I mean, figure, okay, we're going through 2020. So we have a good 4-year plan right now. So 2021, what's the film that drops June 14th of 2021?
Batman.
Man, I would have.
No,
I was gonna say the same thing.
Batman.
Well, they already said,
Batman or
I don't think
Suits.
Batman is supposed to come out until after the third Justice League movie, the new Batman movies.
That's just absolutely
and that's
insane.
That's
It
interesting
is. It's
too,
a long way
because
away, but that's what I've heard. Like the one that he's supposed to be writing with Jeff Johns, whoever it is, like that they're supposed to be working on, isn't until after the third Justice League movie.
But that's interesting too, because we already know that Deadshot is signed on to more movies.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Quinn is getting a standalone movie. Batman is getting so one of those movies coming out. You know what I'm saying? So like you're going to 2020, 2021 just might be that Gotham, realm all over again. So I don't know.
Yeah, and plus
it could be. You got to remember that technically, Batman vs Superman was a Batman movie.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So it will be a long time since we have had
You mean a Superman movie?
Superman movie.
I mean, it's a Superman movie. Batman. You said Batman vs Superman?
Yeah.
That was a Superman movie.
It was. Here's the thing. It was technically the sequel to Man of Steel.
Right.
Technically, but it was a Batman movie, which is why Batman's name is first in the joint. That's how they treated it. Like, this is a Batman film because the movie is about Batman. That movie is about Batman and how he feels about everything that's going on and the way that he saw what happened in Man of Steel. That movie is a Batman movie. Yes, it is technically a sequel to Man of Steel, but only in terms of continuity. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like saying that a Thor movie is a sequel to an Iron Man movie because there's continuity there. They actually take place in order.
Well, with the way it was supposed to be set up, because it was supposed to be called Man of Steel 2, and then they're like, well, Batman's going to be in it. It was like, you know what, just scratch it. Batman versus Superman. So, technically it did turn into like a Batman movie.
Well, I mean, they were planning this. This has been, come on, you can go back all the way back to I Am Legend and dig up the Batman vs Superman joints. I mean, let's just be real about it. So they were always planning to do a Batman vs Superman. Let's not even pretend that wasn't on the table. I think that what the idea of Man of Steel 2 ended up getting scrapped, and it became a Batman movie. You spend much more time dealing with Bruce Wayne and what he thinks and how he feels about what's going on than you do dealing with Superman. And then they used it to introduce Wonder Woman. That's basically what it was. But technically, it's a Batman film. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get any real deep insight into Superman in this. You got all that in Man of Steel. So, you will not have had a Batman movie outside of otherwise you don't have anything but that trilogy, and that trilogy doesn't count for this, right? So Man of Steel was the first film in this joint. So do we get a Superman movie or do we get a Batman movie?
We get a Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman
Batman.
2.
Another Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman 2.
Well, we're gonna get a Wonder Woman. We probably are gonna get a Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah.
But do we see that before we see another film from either one of them?
Before Batman, yeah. I don't know about Superman, but definitely before Batman.
Why you say that?
Because they're saying Batman's not coming until after Justice League, unless stuff change.
You know,
So-
I think.
Yeah, but
I
you
think,
might not. But the third Justice League movie could be the first thing we see in 2021.
It could be.
It could be.
It could be.
Right?
But
I
right now,
think,
2021, I'm going with Wonder Woman.
I think Justice League is going to be Superman's sequel. Because even in the trailer, you don't see anything about him. You know how the Batman vs Superman ended. So I think when he comes about, it's going to be about him after you introduce everybody else.
You could be very right about that because they're gonna need Superman in order to beat Darkseid. So you could look at Justice League as the third Superman movie almost. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I mean, it's possible. I mean, he wasn't in the trailer. They say that's not a trailer. The trailer.
Yeah.
They put
Okay.
out.
Okay.
I mean,
The trailer's not a trailer.
yeah. That's what they said. They said it's not a trailer. It's just
It's not a typical trailer.
When I saw it,
clips.
it said first look. That's exactly
Right.
what the
They're
word
not
says.
Right. They're not calling it a trailer, like for real. But nonetheless, I mean, who else do we need to see? Is that everybody? Is everybody accounted for?
The only other one I would say would be like Martian Manhunter.
Right.
That would be one of the
That's who
only
we're missing.
other. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly who we're missing. We're missing.
But then
Martian
again,
Manhunter.
he's on Supergirl, so maybe they'll just do him the way they're doing Arrow, and eventually
can't do-
throw him.
you
yeah, but
can't do that to
Arrow's
Martian
not in the
Manhunter.
Justice League. Arrow's not a member of the Justice League. He is a Justice League Unlimited, but he's not a.
That's what I was
main-
about to say.
He's not one of the main Justice League characters. He doesn't even count for that for real. Like the Flash does, but Arrow's not. So, but the Martian Manhunter is
Yeah.
one of the main Justice League members. So he would be the person we're missing. So do we get Martian Manhunter? Maybe that's what it is. It's Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly.
But then
And I think we may still get something earlier on. Just like you were talking about that massive gap in, what was that, 2017? I think we may see something sneak in the 2017 releases. Because
In
that
between
little
June and
gap there is
November?
kind of between the June and November.
I mean, it's possible there could be like an August release or something like that, but that'd be, bruh, if they were doing, I mean, think about that. That's next year. If they were going to put a movie out next year that was going to come between June 23rd and November 17th, we'd know about it.
Who knows? Maybe they try to keep it under wraps.
J.J. Abrams doing it. You never know about it.
Get out of here, man. Are you kidding me? How long do we know about episode 7? Exactly. So,
Nobody knew about that Cloverfield, though.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That Cloverfield popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, but nobody cares about Cloverfield for real. Let's just be real about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cloverfield is the kind of movie people knew about it. They just didn't know it was Cloverfield. That's really what was going on, and nobody cared enough for it to matter. But do you think you could really keep? Oh, by the way, we're doing a Martian Manhunter movie. You think you can keep that under wraps?
Nah, for real.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not feeling that joint. Now, maybe in one of these other gaps, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got Shazam in April of 2019, and then Justice League 2 in June of 2019, and then nothing after June until April of 2020. So clearly, they could do something in August or November of 2019. So we could see something either move up, maybe Cyborg or Green Lantern moves up, or we get a Martian Manhunter. But I also feel like if they were gonna do that, it would probably be outlined. So, but he's definitely the one we're missing, unless we just don't get him. You know what I mean? They just go, nah, we're just doing Justice League Unlimited. We're just gonna start pulling hammers out the woodwork. That's all. We'll just put whoever we want. You know. But he would be ideal. Because once you have him, then you can do Justice League Doom.
True.
And that would be a great Batman movie. Say I'm wrong. That would be a great Batman movie. Because it would make so much sense. Because technically, the Batman that you got in Batman vs. Superman is the paranoid, all these people got all these powers, and I have to have a way to be able to shut them down.
It's exactly
Batman.
like a Lego Batman movie goes.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he was, which again, I'm not a huge fan of the way Batman was in it because I just don't agree with the mindset of him, but cool. If he's going to be that guy, okay, yep, I'm going to work with all these superpower beings who can do all this stuff, and I'm going to put a team together and blah, 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 whatever. Cool. But I also got to have a way to shut every one of these dudes down. And you know I'm already on it because I was in Barry Allen's house. Like I was in his little warehouse. Like I was in his joint watching his VHSs.
Justice League 3, there it is. Justice League 3, Doom, that's what they call it.
Actually dope. Hey, you know what? You know what though? Did y'all notice? I've seen a lot of people talking about how, like, if you look at that trailer, I mean that first look. if you look at that first look, in the scene where Barry Allen and Bruce Wayne are together, like if you look around his workshop, that he has stuff like Windows 98 in there. Like he's got a bunch of old stuff in there. And I wonder if that dude has already started messing with the timeline. See, other people are just like, yeah, man, he must be poor or he must not, you know, like, nah, man, if you look at the stuff that dude is running in that, you know what I'm saying, all those TVs and that software he's got, there's no way as brilliant as Barry Allen actually is that he's just running Windows 98. But it makes me wonder whether or not he's already messing with the timeline, hence the reason why Batman saw him in that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, come from the future. Or maybe he was coming from the past. Who knows? But I'm wondering, because he has such old stuff in there, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he's already started messing with the timeline. Maybe in that timeline, maybe like 98 is supposed to be when his mother died or something like that.
Yeah, it's funny because I can actually see that happening in like the Justice League movie. They're like, oh, we gotta go back in time. He was like, oh, well, that's easy. And they just look at him like,
Feel me?
you can...
You feel me? And then Bruce Wayne's like, oh shit, it was you. It was you. Right? Something like that. I mean, what do you guys have any other thoughts about DC before we move on to Marvel?
I actually do have a question for y'all. Which on this, well, nothing too major, but just on this list, but with the exclusion of Suicide Squad, because that drops next week. Which one are you most excited for, and which one are you not most excited for?
Everybody jump on it at once, right?
All right, well like this.
Yeah.
I'll go first since I proposed question. Aquaman, I think I'm excited for the most. Besides the Justice League, seeing everybody together, just because I want to see the world come together and see how they pull it off and everything. You know what I mean? And I'm looking forward really to see him as Aquaman. And the first taste is going to be, you know, the Justice League movie, but seeing a full-length, you know, film as him, I'm excited about. So Aquaman will probably be my most excited. Least favorite is Cyborg. I don't know. Look,
Really?
Yes, like, look, I don't get it with him. Like, I just don't understand the excitement when it comes to Cyborg. Like, I don't care about Cyborg, to say the least. Granted, things could change from seeing it on the live action, like seeing him in Justice League and getting to know him a little better. But, like, animated movies, don't care about Cyborg. Like, I just don't care about him, to say the least. I'm going to go see it. They're going to get my money. That's easy.
That's because my man don't be watching Teen Titans Go, though, because that Bama is the star of that joint, bruh. Oh, he be getting it in that joint.
But you're probably right. But for some reason, I've never resonated with him. So
Yeah.
he's my
I mean, I have the hardest time wrapping my head around what they would make his movie about.
There you go. I was thinking about that as well. Like,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just don't
like
get
he doesn't have any standalone animated joints. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever. But maybe the Cyborg joint is how they introduced the rest of the Titans.
I mean, look, very
Considering they
possible.
pulled him out of the Titans and made him a full-fledged member of the Justice League.
And I remember when that happened.
That
I was
could-
like,
that
what,
could work.
What the hell? Like, why he the one to get
Why him?
Why him? Yeah, like I've just
He
never
really,
got it.
Really, because he's been around so long, and he is really a tried and true member of the DC universe. He's been around and been involved in so much stuff. If you just, for real, just go back and look at the history of that character.
That's probably what I'm gonna have to do.
Probably is a character that deserves it because he's technically. I mean, the Teen Titans. You think about them and you think about almost like Young Justice. Like Young Justice is a team full of sidekicks, but Teen Titans isn't. Like technically, like Beast Boy's not a sidekick, but he should be. You know what I'm saying? Like now, Starfire, she probably could really bang on her own, but I mean, I guess really, who cares? Raven probably really could be a full-fledged member of the, you know what I'm saying, of the Justice League if she wanted to, but maybe her father's too crazy for them to be like, yeah, you all up in here. You know what I mean? Like maybe they just don't want to take that chance.
Okay.
You know, I don't know, but.
All right. Who else wants to take the plunge and answer that question?
I'll go because honestly, I'm really excited for Justice League, just to see how everything's gonna come together. You know, it's just, you know, I guess I'm gonna use Marvel as an example. You know, even though they already had their standalone movies and then it became the Avengers, I'm just curious to see how everything comes together in Justice League. You know.
Okay.
And then the least one I'm excited for is actually Cyborg as well. So,
Wow.
I mean, it's funny because like Cyborg. Anytime I see Cyborg in anything, he's like, he usually is the go-to in the DC animated movie. Which one was it? The first Justice League when they did. You know, he was like the main character almost. You know, he got everything done. But like, I just in other things that he does, I just don't see the excitement. Especially, I watch a lot of Lego DC animated with my son. They just clown him like he's just like the comic guy, like as if he does nothing, and they just make fun of him, and he makes fun of everyone, and that's it.
Yeah,
And
he's no worse. He's no worse.
It's a
I mean,
Lego
come on,
movie.
Man. They don't clown him any worse than they clown Aquaman. Or,
Like, literally.
for real, the fact that Batman is getting a Lego animated movie is all about them clowning him. And like how much of a baby he is about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just go on him all the time. Like you really can't go by the Lego movies for that.
I know, but it's just what I've been watching recently, and
I know.
and it's funny because like
blaming it on your son, but really you just be watching him.
it's funny too because anytime they had, like Justice League has to go out and do something, they're like, "Hey, Cyborg, stay here, all right? You watch." And they literally do that every time.
Yeah, they Jubilee.
But
they make him Jubilee.
But like it's funny what you said earlier because it's like they had him join the Justice League, but when they did Justice League versus Teen Titans, he was in the Justice League, and then he just joined Teen Titans.
Right.
So it's funny how they did it backwards, right?
Yeah, they said he needed their help. You know, like the Titans need my help, so I'm gonna help them.
I'm gonna help them. And then he came over for pizza. He brought the pizza over, and he was like, and they were all talking, and he was like, what? Like I'm chilling with them, like.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm sorry, Cyborg.
Cool.
Maybe
I'm not sorry.
like Sin said. Maybe like Sin said. I mean, my opinion will change after a while, but yeah, right now Cyborg is just not that guy.
All right.
Oh, you just hating on Cyborg.
So I take it your most anticipated movie is the Cyborg movie, Joe.
No, that is not my most anticipated one. Thank you very much.
Okay. You just defended him real hard.
Mine would have
Cyborg looked
no.
like a Power Ranger.
no. Well,
He's
if
the
you know what,
Silver Ranger.
wait, stop, because you know what, you can use the argument now. You want to use the argument because my one that I really want to see is the Flash. Now you can use the
Of
argument.
course, I saw that coming.
Power Ranger.
But way besides that. So just from seeing, of course, Barry Allen on the television series, I think they did an amazing job with that. I have high expectations for what they would do with Barry Allen in the movie. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, with Barry, I mean, I don't think I don't think they would just kick him off with doing like say a Flashpoint movie. Don't get me wrong, that would be an absolutely awesome movie. But just like we said earlier, some more of the characters probably need to get introduced first before they even attempt at that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not excited about seeing Captain Cold in the cinematic universe.
Captain Cold, in the cinematic universe, we'll probably get a more comic version of Captain Cold.
Hey,
Sorry, the Captain Cold in the Flash
Captain
TV series,
Boomerang's
he's
gonna
more
be
of a
in Suicide
badass, cool
Squad.
dude.
He's
No,
more of a
no
prison
pun,
break type of
no
character,
pun
right?
intended.
Right.
He's more of a
That was a
prison
pun
break.
intended there.
Then he put Flash against Killer Croc.
But I really want to see what they're going to do with the Flash. I mean, least favorite, I'm going to have to put it on Green Lantern. I mean,
Wow,
just
Ryan Reynolds left that bad a taste in your mouth.
just because of what's happened in the past. I'm sure they're going to try to help and do some serious justice to Green Lantern, but as of now, I just don't have too many high hopes for it. And especially like, don't get me wrong, I like Tyrese. I don't want to see him as John Stewart.
Hey, look, I'm with you.
How many Tyrese albums you got?
None.
I got
That's what I'm talking about. You don't like
Hey,
Tyrese. Get out.
he only
How many times you seen Baby Boy?
I've actually seen Baby Boy a good couple of
Hey,
times.
get out of
actually.
here, man. How many times you seen Transformers? Any of them?
A lot.
All right.
A lot.
All right, cool. All right,
Right.
whatever.
You only
Oh
like-
my
you
God,
only like-
Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. That's what it is.
You only like Tyrese when he's fighting cars or he's driving cars. Just
I prefer Roman Pierce. That's it. I don't. No, don't give me Transformers.
He just doesn't. He just
drive
doesn't
cars
shoot me
and
as a
crack
John
jokes.
Stewart.
That's it. But no, I don't want to see him.
He's
in
too.
Fortnite.
He's
I don't wanna
too.
see him
He's
in
more of a.
No.
I mean, I think
No.
I think he'd be fine for real. I don't think it would matter. I can think of people who would be better, but I don't think he'd necessarily be bad. However,
All right, B. What about you?
I mean, personally, I think the Green Lantern film has the most potential out of all the rest of these joints.
But is that the one you're most excited for?
No, but it has the most potential. The one I'm most excited for is Wonder Woman. That's gonna be the best out of all of these joints.
Okay.
Wonder Woman joint has, well, one is coming very soon. That's one. Two, she's the only female in this entire thing, and she bangs with everybody. Like, she could bang with Superman. You know what I mean? So like, having a chance to see Wonder Woman on screen, like, if you think about it, out of all these characters, she has the most history as far as like film. Like she she had a TV show for a long time that was very successful. You know what I mean? Like, she's been in all the old cartoons or whatever. Like, she really is up there with Superman and with Batman, and she deserves to have a movie. And I think that
No, she deserves that
her
and more.
finally having the opportunity to be seen on the big screen, and for them to, she's kind of like the Hulk to me. You know what I mean? And sort of like with Superman, but Superman, for old Superman movies, you just had to really make sure it looked like he could fly. You know what I mean, so to speak, and that looked good. But like, there's an opportunity here for them to really show like how strong she actually is, and like watching that trailer and seeing her like actually use the lasso more or less as a weapon, which is kind of
That
how
was
it
dope.
should be.
That joint
It
was dope.
looked like you were watching. It looks like the way she looks when you're playing the Injustice game. And so I'm excited about seeing that. I'm excited about seeing her brought to life on the big screen. I'm excited to see how they treat that entire race of the Amazon people, the warriors. Like, that movie has potential to be a 300 or you know what I mean? Like, in terms of what it's gonna be like for them to be fighting Germans on the beach. You know what I mean? And really getting it in, firing arrows and swinging swords and riding horses and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'm most excited about Wonder Woman. I'm probably least excited about Shazam. And while I feel like Shazam is going to be important because it probably will be the movie they use to introduce magic into their cinematic universe, which is what Doctor Strange basically is to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not real, Shazam is an important character to the DC Universe, but he has a sketchy history in terms of, like, his name being Captain Marvel or being Shazam, and, like, the old TV show where he had, like, the tiger and like all that kind of strange stuff, and then like how they handle Shazam as a character. Like if they do it the way they're doing it in the New 52, where it's like he is a kid, so even when he's in his adult form as Shazam,
he's still a kid.
He still acts like a
Right.
kid. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like that. Like I don't. It bothers me the way they do that, and I don't feel like he can really do what he needs to do or take full advantage of his powers or whatever. Like if they do it the way it has been handled in the past, where it's like, yeah, when he's a kid, but when he's Shazam, you know what I mean? Like he's an adult, or he has an understanding, of like really what his powers are and how he can use them. But there's some really good comic relief that he is there for within the animated films, but that's mostly what he is. They don't really let you see what he can do and how he is. If they treat it the way they did in that joint with him and Superman versus Black Adam, then we're cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Do they have an actor for Shazam
No,
yet?
just Black Adam, not Shazam.
Not yet.
yeah.
Okay. John Cena.
So
Shut up.
God, no.
Absolutely not.
God,
Look, I swear it was Earl in my mouth. I had to swallow it down.
it was. There's a reason why Coop hasn't been on the show for a while. The reason why Coop missed like literally like the last 20 episodes.
Because of John
Statements
Cena.
like that, because of John Cena. Yeah, I mean, Shazam is probably the one I'm the least excited about. I think the rest of them have more potential than anything else. When I look at Cyborg, I think Cyborg has potential to introduce characters that we've come to know from like the Teen Titans or something like that, possibly. And Green Lantern, if they do the Green Lantern Corps, well, you know what I mean. But that's it. Those are mine. So,
All right.
having said that, let's take a quick break, and then we will come back and we'll talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Snackers and Snackettes, welcome back. Snackin Hangin podcast, the Loading Snacks podcast. This is episode 28.
28.
And we are discussing the DC and Marvel Cinematic Universes and their timelines and what is going on with them. So, gentlemen, let's start with the rundown for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Here's what we're looking at. Starting this year, November 4th, we have Doctor Strange. Then, May 5th of 2017, we get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Followed by Spider-Man Homecoming on July 7th.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Birthday.
Yeah, and then Thor Ragnarok, which is also my daughter's birthday. You know that, though. And then Thor Ragnarok on November 3rd. Another birthday, Giant. So that's all next year. Then Black Panther on February 16, 2018. Followed by the Avengers Infinity War on May 4th of 2018. So not a lot of time between them. And then on July 6th of 2018, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then May 3rd of 2019. So again, a huge gap between July of 2018 and May of 2019. May 3rd, 2019, Avengers 4. Followed by Captain Marvel on March 8th of 2019. So again, that's actually backwards because March comes before May. So March 8th, 2019, Captain Marvel. May 3rd, 2019, Avengers 4. The Inhumans movie, which used to have a date, now is undated. And then we also have 3 more movie slots that don't have movie titles yet, but May 1st, 2020, July 10th of 2020, and November 6th of 2020. So,
We get no October movies. I mean, no birthday month for me.
nobody goes to the
Nope.
movies in October. That's when you release horror movies, bruh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back in history and look at what movies were released in October, and I bet none of them are good.
Well, Gambit was supposed to be released on my birthday, actually.
Well, oh well. And that's not
Yeah, it
Marvel
looks like they
Cinematic
rethunked
Universe.
that.
That's the
I
Fox.
know.
That's the
I
Fox
know.
Cinematic Universe, which is a whole
Which
different horror.
sucks.
So, okay, so all right, looking at this lineup,
Okay.
okay, we know that they changed. The Infinity War was supposed to be 2 movies originally, okay,
Uh-huh.
and they were supposed to be a year apart. So we have May 4th, 2018 for Avengers Infinity War now, which was originally the first half of Infinity War, and May 3rd, 2019, which is being called Avengers 4, but was originally supposed to be the second half of that same movie. So, we don't know what that means right now as far as how they're going to pan things out for that 4th movie.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have a couple of questions, gentlemen. And so here's where I
Mm-hmm.
want to start. Do you think... So, when the Infinity War movies were originally set up, the directors stated that they had like 60 some odd heroes lined up for these 2 films. Okay? That's a lot of characters. So my question right now is, do you think we will see any Netflix cameos in the Infinity War? We do know that the Netflix shows are part of the same universe. They refer to them, they talk about them. They are part of the same universe. Do you think we'll see any Netflix cameos in Infinity War?
I think we will.
Okay.
I really think we will for this. I mean, especially if they end up back, in New York City, where a lot of them are pretty much based out of, or New York, I should say.
Right.
Even if it's just, say like a Luke Cage, maybe they just pan over to him and he's just wailing on some people, and maybe they just keep switching through each one of them, which would be a nice little nod at it, because it would just literally be impossible to feature 60 heroes. Well, in 2 movies it was going to be difficult, but to feature all 60 in one now, everybody's not going to get that super shine. But
Right.
even if it's just that little bit of a nod to some of them, I really think that's going to be cool. And I think because the way Marvel does with the TV shows and with the movies and intertwining them together, I think there's no doubt that we'll definitely see them in some shape or form in Infinity War.
Think it'll be the
Yeah.
same thing with people from Agents of Shield.
Agreed. I think Coulson's going to show back up.
Yeah.
Like, just as like a random pop up, hey guys, did you miss me?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
wait.
do you guys realize that as of right now, none of the actual Avengers members know that Coulson is alive?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the.
I know. And that'd be great if they were just like him walking down the street and they were like, "Wait, was that Coulson?" And it's just like,
If Thanos just shows up and grabs Coulson by the throat, everybody's like, "Wait a minute."
No,
Where'd
you know
you
what it's
get
probably
him?
going to be? You know what it's probably going to be? It's probably going to be Coulson talking to Stan Lee, and everybody just going to triple look back like, wait,
Yeah.
do we know who that was?
That could be it. Yeah.
but yeah, I would definitely agree that the Netflix, Netflix shows will definitely show up in the movies. They make way too many references as it is now for something like that not to happen.
Yeah.
I just can't see them doing without something, just like new Joker said.
Yeah. There should be something. Huh?
Yeah, something.
Do you guys think that it's strange that now that the Infinity War film is broken into 2 separate films, it's not technically Infinity War 1 and 2? Do you think that the idea that it's Avengers 4 is only a year after the 3rd one, does that make sense that they're doing that? Or do you just think, yeah, it's still just going to be the sequel to whatever that... Because the only thing that happens in between those 2 movies, I mean, technically, the way it's set up right now, if you look at it, the only thing that falls between... You have Ant-Man and the Wasp, like right after the Infinity War. And then you have Captain Marvel right before Avengers 4. So
Honestly, I think Avengers 4, which me personally I hope will turn into like the true new Avenger kind of setup, and maybe we'll get a whole new, maybe not an entirely new
Right.
Avengers lineup, but changing out some of those core characters, especially like with your Captain Marvel, and seeing how we had Civil War 1, I'm sure they're thinking how they'll be able to incorporate Civil War 2 somewhere down the line, because that would make absolute perfect sense.
I mean, it could be. It just depends on how they handle everything with the Inhumans now.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think it's strange that the Inhumans is undated now because, again, the rumors are that supposedly they worked something out with Fox to get control of the Fantastic Four, at least, if not the X-Men. But putting the Inhumans kind of on hold and taking a date away from that makes you wonder exactly what's going on with that and how it's going to affect things. But I definitely, like, I've been saying it for a couple of years now, that I think that Infinity War is going to mark the end of the Avengers as we know it and start the new Avengers. We've already started to see that happen. So, they've introduced characters that essentially are the people that ran the West Coast Avengers. So, with Scarlet Witch and Vision both being there, and technically Hawkeye already being there too. So, yeah, I definitely think that we could see that happen. Who do you guys, who haven't we seen yet, like from the Avengers, that we think could hold a standalone film? And I'm asking this because obviously we have 3 untitled movies, all in the year 2020. So who haven't we seen that we feel like could get a standalone movie, or do you think one of those movies is going to end up being part 2 to, say, Captain Marvel, or maybe the third Ant-Man movie, or the second Spider-Man movie?
I think Spider-Man #2. I definitely think that's definitely a high probability with that one.
Yeah.
Another one that they've been dabbing at, Black Widow. I think she could definitely at this point now get her own standalone movie and it could work. And I think it may work off of some of the principles like how Captain America did, and feature, like your some of the other characters that really just float around her in her world. And it would almost kind of give you that same feeling, but it's just going to all be wrapped around her at this point. And then, they've been talking about Robert Downey Jr. possibly doing Iron Man 4. And who knows, that could be maybe like a passing of the torch kind of thing. Who knows? But that idea has been, thrown around like crazy ever since he said, I'm absolutely open to do Iron Man 4 if they have me back for it.
Right.
So I think that could be one of those that are kind of still, should we do it? Should we not do it? Or maybe should we do this? Should we do that with it? I think that could be one of those that absolutely they could drop in there as well too.
I think we definitely need another Hulk movie. I know he's going to be in Thor 3, and
But they don't have the rights to do a Hulk movie. That's why we haven't seen one.
Oh.
They don't have the rights to do a Hulk movie. Why you laughing?
Not yet, at least.
No,
That joint giggling like.
because he was into it. He was like, yeah, but they don't got the right. All I heard under his breath was, huh. And that was it. He just got quiet. That's why I started laughing.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise they would have done one, which is why they are essentially making Thor Ragnarok the Planet Hulk movie, because they're not allowed to do. So when Disney negotiated the rights for the films, when they purchased Marvel, they did get the rights from Universal to use the Hulk, but they did not get the rights to create standalone films. So Universal still owns the rights to make Hulk movies, and Marvel doesn't. So unless something changes with that, they won't do one because they can't. But that doesn't mean we won't see She-Hulk, because that could happen.
Right. As far as characters who haven't been introduced yet, who are part of the Avengers to get their own movie, I'll throw out a couple names to y'all. Spider-Woman. I don't know how y'all feel about her. Spider-Woman. Sentry.
Weak.
Miss Marvel.
Well, but they're doing Captain Marvel.
Yeah, so the name gets confusing, but I'm just trying to think of people who are more higher up in the food chain of the Avengers, like who they haven't, selected yet. Those are the first three that come to mind. Even though, yes, Miss Marvel's name would be confusing with people, and Spider Woman would most likely confuse people as well. Uh, yeah, but other than that, I don't know right now. Those are the first three just on the top of my head I can think of.
Right. So the thing for me is, it makes me wonder whether or not what would be the important piece for them would be to one, does Winter Soldier end up getting his own movie at some point? Does he end up taking over? What happens with the Captain America mantle? Does it end up being Falcon? Would they let that black dude be Captain America in the movies?
What's he say like that?
I'm just saying, man. Like, let's just be real. Let's just be honest about it. Like, as far as the way the cinematic universe is going,
Nope.
right? Who takes over? Is it
Bucky?
going to be Sebastian Stan?
Yep.
Yeah. It's not. They're not going to let Anthony
No,
Mackie
yeah,
be Captain
it's set
America.
up. It's set up for Winter Soldier to take over the mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that too because a lot of people love the chemistry between Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It's great.
And, yeah, so like maybe that could be a movie, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Be a buddy cop comedy.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say. What is it, a comedy joint?
Oh God, I will go see that. I would absolutely go see that.
Winter and Falcon.
Winter Bird,
Yeah, I don't
Winter
like that.
Bird.
Snowbird. There we go.
They got a small apartment trying to make it in New York.
There you
just
go.
Oh God.
Terrible. Arguing over which one of them is really Steve's best friend.
Yep.
Terrible.
Putting the orange juice back in the fridge with a swallow left in the container.
Yeah, dog. Why you keep putting the milk carton back in the joint empty up?
There you go.
Yeah, I would watch that. Netflix is.
They really shouldn't, dog. They really shouldn't. But they should. But them two rappers should just do like a YouTube joint.
Yeah, I'm about to say making it short.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like the way Don Cheadle was in that Captain
Planet
Planet
joint.
joint. Like, they should just do
Oh my God.
joints. So yeah, I mean, but what happens to Rhodey? Obviously, we're not gonna do no Iron Man movie. You know what I mean? And he got hurt, but they seemed like they were setting him up at the end of the last one to be in the Avengers. Train him and all that kind of stuff with the Cap, and I mean, it's not like he was there with Iron Man, so to speak. I mean, he is best friends with Tony Stank. So, I mean, there's a lot that could happen because of all that's happening in the MCU, in the actual comic books right now. I mean, if they do an Iron Man 4, we could see him pass the torch to a Riri Williams, but I don't think they would do that.
Nah.
I don't think so.
I think it depends on. I think it depends on how well it's received. I mean, we're talking about that happening in the next couple of months here, and we're talking about a movie that's 4 years out. You know what I'm saying? So it could be received well enough to happen. It's not like they don't have the rights to use Victor Von Doom unless they did actually secure the rights from Fox to use the Fantastic Four. Then they could have him be Iron Man, which is what's happening in the comics. But even that is going too far. Like, I feel like that would just confuse people to no end.
Well, what about Ghost Rider? Him being in Agents of Shield now. Maybe they'll do something with him again.
Well, I mean, what they said
Yeah,
I'll
was
say
that
which Ghost Rider.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is using Ghost Rider to introduce...
Magic and mysticism and all that
they're
kind
using
of
him
stuff.
to introduce Doctor Strange because he comes from that realm. So that's how they're using Ghost Rider to tie Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. into Doctor Strange. So, I mean, yeah, they're using it for that reason. They do have the rights to it. We also have to remember they did just get the rights back to Blade. And Punisher at the same time they got that. But Blade definitely belongs on
Netflix, definitely.
I mean, Ghost Rider belongs on Netflix. Let's be real about that. But and that doesn't mean he won't get one. But I'll be honest with you, I don't really want to watch a Ghost Rider show. So I just don't. I just don't care. Like I know people who who really bang with Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's not.
If
He's
it was
not
gonna be
one
on
of my,
Netflix, would you care?
If he was on Netflix, would I care?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Do you think they
No.
might do?
If they put Ghost Rider on Netflix and it's good, I'll care. But if they just be like, "Hey, we're gonna put Ghost Rider on Netflix," I won't be like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be so good." Where like if they say we're putting Blade on Netflix, I'll be like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be so good." You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't really care about Ghost Rider, and it depends on what they do with Ghost Rider. Like they're using Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, not the original. They're not doing the same like Nick Cage Ghost Rider they did.
Oh God, no.
It's a different character. They're not using the motorcycle. They're using the car instead. So it's a little bit different. But
Do you think Nova is good enough to have its own standalone movie?
he absolutely could if they could introduce him in Guardians, and they absolutely could. The thing with Nova is they've kind of retconned him into being more of a kid.
Yes,
seems
yeah,
like.
with the Spider-Man series, yeah.
Um, and so I don't know how that would go over, but it just depends. I mean, they could do a lot of stuff. I mean, they can introduce Adam Warlock. I mean, with what they're doing with Guardians and the characters the very very obscure characters that they're introducing using that film, and not to mention how the Collector is tied into all of this at this point now. Like, there's still so much that could happen. I know I certainly expect to see Captain Marvel show up before that movie. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be in Avengers 4 or in the first Infinity War film. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm almost positive she shows up somewhere between Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Black Panther. And then she's in Infinity War. I mean, they could introduce her in Infinity War, but I doubt it. You gotta think about it. That movie is 3 years out, and they already named who's playing her. So clearly, she's got to be in something else sooner than that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they announced Chadwick Boseman. I mean, they announced Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther. His movie don't come out for another 2 years.
But he was all up in that Civil War.
But he was up. But that's what I'm saying. So, like, the fact that they announced her and said this is who she is, and she's hot right now off the Kong Skull Island trailer and all that, like, they gonna put her in something.
She's gonna be in something else before it comes out.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that she shows up in something. You know what I'm saying? Something else between now and then.
And there's plenty of options to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and who knows what they'll do with Spider-Man, and like who they could introduce in that. I mean, we could see somebody show up for whatever. We know Iron Man's gonna be in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they can do any number of cameos. Again, when you look at lineups like this, it just makes you go, God, what are the end credit joints gonna be?
Yeah.
What in the world are the end credit joints gonna be? I mean, I think She-Hulk is probably one of the only characters that is an Avenger, that hasn't been introduced, that could get a standalone film. They can't do Hulk films, so doing a film with her is a possibility. She does run the A-Force right now. She has been in the Avengers for a very long time. You know, how they do her backstory and be like, oh yeah, she's his cousin, but she got the same thing he got somehow. Like, that's kind of retarded. but I mean, but the possibility of all the other characters that I can think of, she's the only one that stands out to me. Like, oh yeah, we could just do a She-Hulk joint.
I mean, eventually they could just introduce anybody at any point, you know, the way it's going now. Like, you know, it's just...
They could. It's just not necessarily everybody. I mean, look, they're introducing a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, they introduced Falcon a long time ago. He ain't getting no movie, though.
Nope.
No, definitely.
You
No.
know what I'm saying?
No.
Marvel
Like, that's
made
what I'm saying.
everybody
Like,
care about a raccoon and a tree.
yeah, but they did that. Yeah, exactly. But it was a group movie, right? So the question is, you know, when you look at some of the characters they're introducing, in my opinion, they are being introduced for team up movies or for team movies, and a She-Hulk could certainly be a part of that. But you know, I mean, Vision ain't getting no movie.
No.
Scarlet Witch ain't getting no movie.
No.
As important as she is to the franchise,
Quicksilver
what's
ain't
happening? Yeah, Quicksilver don't get no movie. Dead, bro.
Can't do a movie from the beyond, bro.
Yeah, he's dead.
Marvel Zombies. There we go. Marvel.
Right, exactly. So I mean, yeah, I mean they're introducing all types of characters, but they're certainly not characters that are
Standalone
being
material.
introduced for the yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm asking what I'm asking. Like again, the Inhumans is undated, but certainly there was a possibility if the Inhumans comes out and does really well that you could see individual films for certain characters that are Inhuman.
Right.
That's a possibility. You know, somebody like Sentry, they can't do no. They shouldn't even introduce Sentry at all.
Not at all. You get a Squirrel Girl movie before you get a Sentry movie.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like Sentry is such a Superman knockoff that like you just don't do that. Like Sentry is literally the dude that that was fought at the end of Superman 4. Like he's the same dude, black suit, yellow joint at the bottom with the flowing hair, blonde flowing hair with the like. Yeah, nah, you can't do that. He was important for World War Hulk, but that's about it. Like we're good outside of that. And then it still remains to be seen what happens with whether or not they get X-Men back. You know what I mean? If they get X-Men, or if they get Fantastic Four, that could change a lot. That could change a lot of stuff if they get Fantastic Four. But I also think it's going to be important to think about who they might introduce in the Black Panther movie.
That's true. Storm. Like maybe if they do get it, they could do us. If they do get X-Men back, then they'll slowly start off with Storm, with Black Panther, and
I'll be honest, I don't think that would happen. But I'm just saying because they didn't even let them stay married that long in the comic.
In the comic, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, they ended that with Civil War, basically. So that's already happened now, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot they could do. I'm excited about the lineups though, but it definitely makes me wonder what they're gonna do going into the next phase. To be for real.
All right, so same question, Marvel edition.
Oh gosh.
Well, I mean that one shouldn't be too hard. I mean, I think I'll jump out on this one. I mean, definitely the one that I want to see the most has to be Avengers: Infinity War. That's a definite. Because I mean, just with the sheer number of who we can see in this movie working together, I think that's just an absolute amazing thing. In the fact that we may get a setup for like a new Avengers kind of setup. Now, honest truth, for ones that I necessarily don't want to see, that one's a hard one, honestly. Because out of Marvel's lineup, there's nothing I'm really least likely want to see, and that's honestly. Trying to think of which one if I had to pick. Yeah, that one's next to, for me, that's next to impossible, honestly.
See, the trick is, it would have been Thor. But now that everybody knows that Thor is actually a Hulk movie,
I think you can. I will agree with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it would have been. I don't think there's anybody on this. I mean, Lo probably don't want to see Doctor Strange. But, you know what I'm saying? She know Doctor Strange. Like, I already know what's up with that. But clearly it's Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Is the joint. But for real, even as excited as I am about Spider-Man, I probably want to see Thor now more than I'm, you know, like Spider-Man. I don't expect to be surprised with anything that's happening in Spider-Man. I just think it's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm probably the most, and the one I'm anticipating the most is Thor. Because it's Planet Hulk. And I want to see Hulk in that gladiator outfit wreck shop. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been saying we want a Planet Hulk movie, a World War Hulk movie since they first started doing this. That's what we're getting. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one I want to see the most. That's the one I want to see the most. And the joint I'm probably the least excited about, to be honest with you, is probably Guardians 2.
Yeah, okay.
Of all of these, I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp, don't get me wrong, Guardians 1 was really, 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 really good. I have a lower expectation for what they could do hitting that stride again than I do for Ant-Man having introduced the Wasp and what it means to I have I guess more faith in Paul Rudd. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. You know what I mean? Than I just do in, like, the Guardians is cool. I like what I'm hearing so far about the setup. They got my man Kurt Russell in the joint as Star Lord's father, but that was like supposed to kind of be one of the secrets about like who is Star Lord's father. Like, that was a big deal, but they told us already. You know what I
Kurt
mean?
Russell.
And then it's like I know they're doing another jailbreak scene. It's like really because they did this already. Now, mess around and put Venom in that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 joint, and we got something happening. But I mean, he is a member of the Guardians now, so that would be dope. But I can't see them doing that, considering the movie comes before Spider-Man.
Yeah. Honestly, I was really excited for Doctor Strange because I know nothing about Doctor Strange, and just watching the trailer just got me amped
Right.
for the movie itself.
Right. I thought it was gonna be
But
dope.
but I'm gonna go with Thor for the simple fact of the Hulk's gonna be in it. It's as simple as that, really. That's it. The one I'm least excited for is Ant-Man and the Wasp because I mean, with that coming after the Avengers Infinity Wars, I don't give a damn about Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Hey, but you know what? The thing about it is, you don't. There's no way to know how that movie's gonna line up, especially considering it comes after Infinity War. So
That's
you
very
got
true.
the joint in between the two Avengers movies is Ant-Man and Captain Marvel, which I'm already excited about Captain Marvel. But I mean, the fact that they're bringing in the Wasp kind of makes that. You know what I'm saying? Like, part of the reason why that's not the one that I'm least excited about is because they are bringing in the Wasp, and she's one of the original members. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. So I just think it's important. I'd like to see how they handle it, going forward, because maybe they'll find her mother.
Yeah. And then, if everything going on with the suit getting an extra, giant Ant-Man in Captain America 3.
They might change the name of that jump to Giant Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, son. Last minute change ups. Yeah. I mean,
far as me, like with Justice League, of course I'm excited for Justice League, just like I'm excited for the Avengers one. So I'm looking at more so solo people movies. Black Panther is the one I'm most excited about. I'm just after seeing was it Chadwick Boseman or whatever, like him in Civil War, it's got me amped to see Wakanda and everything that's gonna come from that movie. Least favorite has to be Spider-Man. No, I'm just playing. I'm just messing with you. It actually,
we already knew that wasn't the truth. We already knew that wasn't true.
it's actually Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like
I believe it.
with Doctor Strange, I just don't know anything about him, so I just don't care. It's only because I don't know anything about him. I genuinely do not like Ant-Man. I enjoyed the movie, but I just don't care about Ant-Man. When it comes out, yeah, you're gonna give my money. I'm gonna go see it, but I don't care. Like,
I mean, that's the way I felt about the joint when they announced it. I was like, "Are you serious, bruh?
Yeah.
Ant-Man, young? I'm gonna give y'all the benefit of the doubt because y'all just pulled this Guardians joint out y'all butthole.
Mm-hmm.
But Ant-Man, dog, for real?
It's funny, too,
that joint was
because
so good, bro.
people that don't know anything about comic books, and they'll come up to me and it's like, yo, is Ant-Man real? Like, that's a real person. Like,
Yeah,
are you serious right now?
He actually the founding not Justice Avenger
Like,
member.
what's his power? Like, he can lift, 8 times his weight? Like, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, that is his power.
It's funny talking about Ant-Man. I just saw an anime this weekend with somebody with ant powers like him. Dope. But that's for another
What?
time.
You saw
No,
that?
I was watching anime this weekend. Somebody had ant abilities, like
Oh,
an
okay,
ant power,
okay,
right?
okay,
And it
okay.
was dope. Just because they think outside the box and they crazy like that.
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. It's been a long episode, so let's go down the road and let everybody know where they can find you. Let's start with you, Sin.
Y'all can hit me at email sin.loadingsnacks@gmail.com, across social media and on Xbox Live. You can hit me at sincere619 on Snapchat and the PlayStation Network. You can hit me at the same thing. Just replace that I with an L, and you will find me. New Joker.
Yes, sir. So if you want to email me, that's newjoker.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. If you want to get at me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, also on that Xbox and PlayStation, New Joker 89, and on Facebook, find me at New Joker's Adventures. Coop.
Coop, the Instagram thief. Tell him where you can find you at.
If you want to hit me on Instagram, it's SuperCooper104. You want to send me an email, it's SuperCooper@LoadingSnacks. And the SuperCooper@LoadingSnacks.com.
Nah, supercooper.loadingsnacks@gmail.com.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay, yeah. As y'all can see, my man hasn't been around for a
I don't
while.
even remember your email address.
Yeah.
And of course, the gamer tag is just simply Super Koopa, SOOPACOOPA. There it is.
That's it. That's everything.
That's everything.
What's your Twitter?
Huh?
What's your Twitter?
My Twitter?
Your
Yeah.
tweets, yes.
The place where you tweet.
You know what? I don't even know what my Twitter is. That's how much I use it.
I bet you know. 'Cause
Loading
Epic
Snacks.
fail.
Twitter. That's what it is.
do not send joints to Coop through @LoadingSnacks on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Instagram at Empty Shells, MTSHELLZ. Same thing for Twitter. My gamer tag is very similar. It's just a space between the M, the T, and the S. That's on Xbox and PlayStation 4. And make sure you guys go and you follow Loading Snacks on Instagram, Twitter, all your social media outings like Facebook and so forth. We certainly appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. Do us a favor and leave us a review, shoot us some comments, give us a thumbs up, a like, a heart, whatever the icon is on the social media thing that you're using that says you like it. If you like it, use it, please. And don't forget to share. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for us. We good, fellas?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Check us out on YouTube, y'all. We do stupid stuff sometimes. We eat stupid stuff anyway. And with that, toodles and loos.